Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Footy. Here to discuss today the Arsenal result. Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 1. Fabulous performance. I called it. I said they would batter Aston Villa. If only they didn't concede that one goal, it would have come across as a real proper battering at 3-0. But anyway, fabulous result. First up, I want you to tell me about how you think Emi Martinez feels right now.
I mean, he's not talking to the media right now, or maybe even if he's talking to the media, he's not talking about what happened at Arsenal. So I'm fine, no complaints. As long as he doesn't drag Arsenal again to a conversation, I'm fine with that. Honest to God.
Well, yeah, this is a really good result. And Aston Villa, again, they've kind of had a patchy start to the season, but by all means, a very good team. Still betting in with a lot of new players, but they themselves came off of a good win last week, facing an Arsenal side that's also in and of itself finding its feet. So this is a really dominant performance from us, and I was really happy. It wasn't even like it was a neck and neck match. Arsenal were clear in a way the better team on the pitch. Even the goal that Villa scored was it's just an absolute peach of a finish. There wasn't a real whole lot of play in there. Um, Ramsey just kind of stuck the ball, and it just one of those shots that you just can't save.
Just
Outside of
went in.
that, yeah, outside of that, they had barely a sniff at the Arsenal goal, and it was just an incredible performance. Who was the standout player this match for you?
Multiple standouts, honestly. I can like name Tavares, I can name Lokonga, I can name Lacazette, Emil Smith Rowe. I also want to give special mention to Aubameyang. Even Arteta spoke about Aubameyang, that Aubameyang is now leading the team. I mean, he showed bite more than anything else. Aubameyang was tracking back the flick on for Emil Smith Rowe for his goal. That was magical. I mean, you don't expect Aubameyang to be back behind your own half. Not always, but he was there. He was very aware of Emil Smith Rowe making that run. He put that flick on and then he just ran past. That's what I really want to see from a striker who's blazing fast. If somebody is not as fast, who's just a poacher or a fox in the box, I don't expect that. But if you have a striker who's as fast as Aubameyang is, I would want him to be across the pitch all the time. And yes, that game, if that's an example to go by, I really want to see more performances like
Yeah, and it's great that you mentioned Lacazette because I think there is just so much energy and so much activity in and around the box with him on the pitch. He showed it during his cameo against Crystal Palace where he got us the equalizing goal. And again, this match, he made such a big impact, won the penalty. It was just an amazing performance by him. Unfortunately, I still believe that he probably should be sold at the end of the season. Just because overall it's it's too many high wage players, aging players working in a position. But he's really making it hard for for Arteta and Arsenal fans to really root for him to leave the club right now with his form, which it's tough. It's really tough. But I mean, an amazing performance. I think he has earned himself another start coming into next week's match. Another interesting thing that you pointed out early on was like Arsenal went with like a 4-4-2, sort of an attacking formation, which is really interesting. Very different approach, definitely new for Arteta. It seemed like more of a defensive approach as well, with Tavares kind of not as advanced on the pitch. But I think that worked really well because Lokonga wasn't as vulnerable as he was against Crystal Palace. Um, Came to find out later on that Tierney missed because of a bruised ankle, but uh, was probably a good decision to have Tavares in, and it's kind of that sort of fortunate events resulting in a good combination on that left hand side to help kind of Lokonga out. And I really also appreciate how Lokonga kind of picked up from his errors against the Crystal Palace match. A lot more tracking back this match. Really stuck with his man in defense and really kept hold of the ball when he had the ball as well. Didn't really lose possession flimsily in the middle of the pitch or higher up the pitch. So, I mean, like you said, multiple good performances this match. For me, my standout would definitely be Lacazette with Thomas Partey coming in as a close second. Even though Emil Smith Rowe had a fabulous game as well, but Partey getting his
Absolutely.
first goal for Arsenal is absolutely amazing. And yeah, like you mentioned on our weekend recap video, it's so funny that after taking so many shots with his foot, the first goal he scores is from his head.
This is a header. I am really glad that Mikel is learning from by being bold enough to make those changes, make those difficult. I don't. Maybe that's not the right term to use. Different decisions where he goes on with a 4-4-2 and he's fluid. That's not being rigid. He's being fluid now. I mean, he was at fault for being too rigid to a point that he wants the team to play the way he wants it to play, and it doesn't always work out with not all players being on the pitch that you want. So I'm glad he went for a 4-4-2. I'm glad that he could try this out in a game like this, wherein Aston Villa were supposedly like really good, and I know they don't have Jack Grealish anymore, but they still were a formidable opposition. But Mikel made those sensible changes, and the team repaid his faith. That's what I really think we could go with this formation for next game week and come out with a very good result. But again, that's depending on how Leicester come against us.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a tricky match. But speaking more about Aston Villa, I mean, that is a very good team. It's again still betting into the attack. Buendia really hasn't hit the pitch the way you would want him to, but Ings already been on the score sheet a few times. Watkins clearly a Premier League proven striker. Leon Bailey really finding his stride, played a huge part in that goal that Aston Villa had as well.
Yep.
So it's not like we're playing up against a struggling team or anything. It's probably playing against a team that's still trying to find its rhythm with a lot of new moving parts, but an incredible set of players still by all means. So this is a very good win, a very important win. It's not um, probably I wouldn't necessarily call it like a statement win, but these are some of the matches that last season we definitely struggled to win. You know, these are the matches that typically as an Arsenal fan you'd be like, okay, we need to be winning these matches, but we struggle to win these matches. So this season, kind of going in such a strong performance is really good and absolutely necessary going into the next weekend with against Leicester, who I think are in a very vulnerable position themselves. You know, really struggling themselves for performances, kind of relying on a few amazing players in Yuri Tillemans and Jamie Vardy to kind of see them through
And
in the
Demarai Gray.
results. And yeah, I mean, so you're talking about Everton there, by the way.
Oh my god. I was so confident about that. Way too confident about
Uh,
it.
yeah, happens to the best of us, man. Um, but Leicester definitely in a vulnerable spot. So if at all Arsenal had a good chance to beat Leicester this season, this is probably it. So what do you think? You think we should still go ahead with Lacazette in attack? What do you suggest our approach should be for that fixture now?
I think we still go with a 4-4-2. Still play the same way. And figure out one of either Gabriel or Ben White who tracks Jamie Vardy, because Vardy is way too smart. You just can't leave it to chance whether there is going to be either one of those who's going to be defending Vardy, depending on which side. You have to commit a man to Jamie Vardy and make his life difficult. That's the only way you're stopping him from finishing those quarter chances, not even half chances. I'm talking about quarter chances. He's that good that he can finish from any position around the box. So I want one man committed on Jamie Vardy. That's what I really want to see. Make his life difficult. Maybe that would allow some more freedom to other players, but the possibility of others scoring a goal versus Jamie Vardy scoring a goal is way too different. So I'd rather concede one goal from someone else than guarantee Jamie Vardy more goals.
I get that point, and I really, really do understand. It's very important that we don't let him run behind the defense because that's where he's the most dangerous. So that's going to be the trickiest part is to not keep too high a line, really be measured of your offside runs because that's where he's absolutely at his lethal. But in terms of formation, I'm actually leaning more towards a 4-3-3 because that Leicester midfield, I think that's the crux of their attack. Like as long as they have Ndidi, Tielemans, Madison playing, it's going to be hard to kind of battle them. And if you're going to play a two in midfield, we're going to be really overrun. So I'd like us to kind of go with three in the midfield. And very brave shout by me on this one, but I'd actually like him to start Partey, Maitland-Niles, and Lokonga in midfield, and go into the attack with Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, and Aubameyang, and then obviously have Lacazette and Odegaard on the bench as options. But I feel it might serve us a little bit better just to crowd that midfield a little bit more. Depending on the injury status, I would still prefer Tierney to start over Tavares. But I mean, the way Tavares has been playing so far, I wouldn't mind even if he's part of the starting XI. We will probably lose something going forward, but at least it gives us a little bit more defensive solidarity. But obviously, with the three-man midfield, Tierney would be better because he gives us that attack that the midfield would otherwise be missing with this formation. But I think that's where I feel more of that tactical awareness from Arteta really needs to kind of shine through. Leicester definitely quite vulnerable in defense. And Aubameyang, 3-4 goals now. I forget how many goals he's had. So he's really starting to get some goals in there. So
Yeah,
I'm
four
really
goals.
optimistic of our prospects against Leicester. Really exciting match. But yeah, let's end with something a little bit different. Let's do some predictions. What do you think this
He's
match
your
is going to end
confidence
with?
player. Yeah.
Yes. Aubameyang is definitely a confidence player. He needs a lot of that.
I hope we get a clean sheet. So I'm just going to go for a 2-0. A 2-0 victory. A clean sheet. That's what I'm looking at. Just closing out Jamie Vardy, that means we're probably getting a clean sheet. So I'll go out on the limb and say 2-0.
I'm going to say 2-1.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-1. I think Leicester will score early on and then we come back and kind of complete the victory. And yes, fingers crossed on that. But
Fingers crossed.
I'm going to say 2-1. But yeah, that was us talking about the Arsenal versus Villa result. Also looking forward into the Leicester City result. Let us know your thoughts. Please go ahead, share, subscribe, like our videos. Help us grow. We're kind of slowly inching towards it. Also follow us on Instagram at filtercoffeefooty. And yeah, see you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye.